to Hello and good afternoon to everyone, and welcome back to our secondary idea category presentations of the iCode784 competition. The protocol has already been established, and I would also like to extend my welcome to the viewers who are viewing the YouTube live at this moment. My name is Kalisa Peters, and I will be your MC for this afternoon, and I hope that everyone is ready for our next presentations. We will continue the presentations with the team UISSGO2 from the Union Island Secondary School. This would be a virtual presentation.
All right, when you're ready.
What's protocol already been established? Good afternoon to everyone. With the UISSGO2, I am Mariana Compton.
Tomorrow was done. Chia Blaster.
Jeremiah Jones.
And together we are
784 on the go. What do you think? We started the clicker. Started the time. So we start the presentation. Yeah. We start the presentation.
With protocol already been established, a pleasant good afternoon to everyone. We are the UISSGO. I am Mariah Compton.
Tomorrow was done. Chia Blaster.
And Jeremiah Jones.
And together we are 784. Justification. Tired of police officers taking too long to get to having trouble contacting police stations or officers, problems finding out location, finding police locations.
Problem. Person not being able to get access to the police officers. Police officers taking too long to get to the person that may be in need of your service, not knowing the specific location of where an incident is occurring.
What is 784 on the go? It is a GIS map-based app that allows citizens to locate police stations/officers near to their current location so that they can easily be accessed and reach their location in case of an emergency. It also provides GPS location so that officers can more quickly and accurately find persons that have seek their services location. It displays the current locations of citizens on the map along with details such as the names of specific village, roads, and buildings like school, bank, etc.
784 on the go. Now, this app idea may display current location of users on the map, provides facility to tap any police station that may be displayed and allow persons to know the route and distance of roads to reach there. It also gives users access to contact numbers of police stations, dispatch officers, and their important law enforcement. This app also allows users to select any number and make phone calls using the app.
Target market. The general public, this is who we choose to use the app and the royal secrecy against police force.
Pros and cons of this app. approach. It's a very simple user interface, free to download, does not need a sign-in account, security, fun. Connectivity use.
The connectivity issues may occur while uploading the information because of poor or totally absent mobile network signal.
Cost 100,000.
This app may cost over 100,000 and upward. This includes geographical
Maps. Another one for geographical map is GIS. Another one for GIS is global
institutional stuff.
And another one for GPS services, sorry, is global positioning system.
Conclusion. 784 on the go. Main goal is to provide safety and security to citizens at any time, anywhere. Like 3 minutes. Huh? Yeah.
At this time, we will have our 5-minute round of questioning by the judges.
Good afternoon. One question. How does the app indicate the type of assistance that someone requires and to allow the police to know which officers from which department should come to someone's assistance?
Each officer will get an individual device, whether it's a phone, specific phone, or a walkie-talkie that they will use to get in contact.
And what I'm trying to find out is, for example, because the police department includes, traffic, fire, etc. So if you're trying to contact an officer for a fire, how does the officer know that that is the type of situation that's happening?
We can call them and explain to them the situation.
Okay, thank you.
Hi guys, a question. Well, I think I saw something in the presentation which states that, let's say, I could see where the officers are located on the app. That's true?
Yeah.
Okay, well, without the register or sign-in feature, right? How do you ensure police officers' safety? For example, if I have a personal vendetta against a particular officer, and I see he's located somewhere on the map and I wish to do him some sort of harm, how do you ensure that they're safe, seeing that there's no, let's say, accountability, because I don't have to sign in, nobody knows who I am. How do you ensure your officer's safety?
We didn't put in that part of the app as yet, but if we make it to finals, we are sure to put that inside of the app.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, good afternoon. My question would be this. If you could already do most of those things in Google Maps, where you could pick any station closest to you, you could find out the distance from the station, including all of the contact information for the police station. What is the major selling point for your app in comparison to Google Maps? Why should anybody bother using your app if they could also do the same type of stuff in Google Maps? What is the difference, the extreme difference? Or as you say, is the most important thing in your app?
Or because it is only used for police officers, and police it over and over, and everybody can get access to it. For emergencies only and for police officers.
And therefore you have your own registered office as well.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, UISSGO2. We will continue the presentations with the team in Nitium from the St. Vincent Grammar School. Please welcome them.
The buzzer. Judges, audience, media, fellow participants, good day. Press Blender. Double the app, double the news. Our group name, Initium, is of Latin origin, meaning new beginning, and we are from the St. Vincent Grammar School. My name is Stanislaus Gomes, and bloody hell. This is not working. Wait, that's not my fault. Judges, audience, media, fellow participants, good day. Press Blender. Double the app, double the news. Our group name, Initium, is of Latin origin, meaning new beginning. We are from the St. Vincent Grammar School, and my name is Stanislaus Gomes, and to my right and left are Isaac Cepeda and Luke Wilson. What is currently wrong? Now, in these challenging times, we need to know everything that is going on in the world and right here in SVG, so that we can be properly informed and prepared for what is to come. However, a lot of persons these days don't like to buy or use a physical newspaper. Even if one wants to use a website to read an electronic paper, persons might want to be more informed about all of the latest news. One paper on one website might have something that another doesn't. Not to mention that you have to search up every single URL link, since there is no one website or application that currently has all the news reports from all the different news outlets within SVG. These are exactly the type of problems that we will be looking to solve. Here's our solution. Press Blender, which is an idea for a news aggregator within SVG. It will be the solution that persons have been looking for in the news industry. It will essentially collect all various news reports from the different news outlets within SVG and present them in its different sections, meaning the news for today on sports, for example, will all be on one page is in an easy to read format. This application will be extremely useful as persons will get all the reports they want in one accessible place. The application will also be so straightforward that a child can use it. What would we need? Well, we researched on various websites like finance.com and found out that we would need various personnel to manage the databases that is used to ensure that everything is running smoothly. Various physical materials will then be needed, such as computers which the application will be built on, as well as an online database or server that will hold all the necessary information. Now let's move on to the financial aspect of things. The average cost of the personnel needed to manage the servers would be around $1,000. For the different materials, the computers and servers would cost approximately $1,200, bringing the total cost to create the final application, that is Press Blender, to about $2,200 or about 6,000 Eastern Caribbean dollars.
In our research, we conducted 2 interviews, one with Searchlight newspaper and the other, the Vincentian, to gather more information on if and how this application would benefit SVG, as well as to learn more about what other criteria there would be in an app like this. Searchlight newspaper told us that our app would be great for persons who want all the news in one place. The Vincentian newspaper told us the same thing, and that this is something that they would definitely want to be involved in. How will it work? First, a news outlet would release their report on some event or category. Then, an algorithm will gather that information and categorize it based on what it's about. The information compiled would then be posted on the application, and users would receive a notification saying that the relevant news agency has posted an article. Let's talk about Press Blender's target market. First, persons who normally keep up with the news reports in SVG would use this application to make that process easier. Secondly, persons who would find it beneficial to have all the different news outlets in one accessible application, as well as the general population of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, seeing as this app can benefit everyone. Now, Press Blender will apply to 2 main business sectors within SVG: the news outlet, Searchlight, the news and other online news agencies, to API, the Agency for Public Information, as they deal with the communication and sending out of public info. Press Blender will also apply to other major communications organizations.
Based on our research and interviews, we have concluded that our Vincentian news aggregator would be a very viable application, as it would have all of SVG's news reports in one accessible place. It would be an efficient and concise medium to receive various news reports. And finally, Press Blender can be easily implemented in SVG, since a lot of things nowadays are done online or through an app. Pros and cons. Press Blender will have many advantages to its name, like being the best news aggregator in SVG. Press Blender will also allow for news outlets in SVG to gain more attention and publicity, increasing the number of persons that read their newspapers, hence gaining more sales. Press Blender will also make receiving information and news in SVG much easier, since we'll have all the reports users will want in one place. Its only con is that it will require an internet connection for its full usage. What we plan to achieve by creating Press Blender. We will aim to make the fastest and most reliable medium for transmitting information and news within SVG, and to keep Vincentians properly informed via this app, as will make it easier and more efficient to access and read news. Judges, audience, we thank you for your time and patience throughout our presentation, and we'll answer any questions at this time.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Mhm.
I'm currently aware of a Twitter bot that does exactly this same thing, Vincentian News bot. What advantages would your app have over this Twitter bot?
Okay. Hi. Um, so we were not currently aware about that Twitter bot. So imagine if a youth like us use our phones every day and we're not aware of that Twitter bot, then how can the persons of SVG, usually like the adults and stuff, be aware of this Twitter bot? Also, Press Blender will be one single application, so you won't have to go into a separate application that is Twitter to get that information, and it will combine all of it in one easy to read format.
Question: would there be like a monthly subscription, or would this be free content?
Well, the local news, we have, well, basically we have two sections, international and local. Local news would be free, but a paid subscription would be to include international news agencies. That paid subscription would somewhat use to pay the relative news agencies in SVG part of the profits so that it will be incentivized to join our app.
Okay, so you guys are getting content, let's say from Searchlight or News or Vincentian, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how are they being paid as opposed to people just going and buy their newspapers?
Can you repeat the last part?
Sorry. Yes. You guys are getting content from, let's say, Searchlight or Vincentian and News, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how are they getting money as opposed to, let's say, me going and buy their newspapers?
Okay, so the monetization on the application, that is like the advertisements that would be flowing through the application, that profit will be part of the profit will be going to each newspaper respectively. And also, if one of the newspapers asked us that how will persons be able to rate their like reports and stuff, so from the application, persons can rate each reports separately, and they will get the feedback.
Also, my partner forgot to mention that the profits will be shared based on how much users read the article in the app, so they will have a fair share of the profits.
Okay, sorry, another question. My aunt, she's pretty age old, so she reads newspaper, I guess, every Friday, right? How or what measures you have in place to ensure, like, for the elderly people in society, like how user friendly it is, etc.
Um, yeah. So basically, our app will be extremely easy to use. You have a simple format, easy to read fonts, well as an option to enhance the fonts for elderly folks, since they are a good portion of the newspaper readers. And not because we have an app necessarily means that we want to put newspapers out of business. It's just aiding the more options here.
And like okay, elderly persons, they would that reading the physical newspapers, they are set in their ways, so the application is really based for youths and adults in the modern age mobile phones.
Okay, now my question is this. It's actually similar to my judge at the end there. However, there's actually an app, News 784, on the Google's Play Store. So what's the difference between their app, their news aggregator, and your app? What's the major selling point of your app in comparison to theirs, if they already exist?
So one, yeah, News 74 app, once again, we didn't know about it, so that's another sign that some other people might know about it. And when we interviewed Searchlight and newspaper, they hadn't mentioned that to us either, so which could be a sign that they don't really aren't associated with them, and we are associated with them sharing the profits, which would incentivize them to partner with us. Also, yeah, we also have the option for the international news, while News 74 is only been central news. So, yeah, increase.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Initium. At this time, we would welcome Country Tech from the St. Vincent Girls High School. Country Tech.
Seeing as protocol has already been established, a pleasant good afternoon to everyone. My name is Faith Bainu, and this is my partner,
Alia Decent.
And together we make Country Tech. Our app's name is ChemWeb. Potential users are unaware of what chemicals make up formulas, and they don't know what certain chemicals can make. That's our problem. ChemWeb. Let's carbon up your walk with ChemWeb. Solution. ChemWeb is an app that will help persons learn about what chemical composition of certain formulas and find out what certain chemicals can make up what formulas. Aim. Our app's intent is to help users find out what chemicals make up a particular formula, or what formulas can be made from a particular or certain chemicals. Our targeted business is the Ministry of Education or educational institutions. Targeted audience. This app can be for anyone, but can mainly be used for people in high school, college, or university, especially for those doing organic chemistry. Research carried out. In our research, we found out that a hefty amount of persons in college and universities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are doing chemistry or organic chemistry and need an app like this so they can do their work properly. An app walkthrough. Upon entering the app as a first-time user, the app will prompt you to a sign-up page to insert your username, email address, personal, and payment information. Once login is complete, the users will be further prompted to accept the terms and conditions of ChemWeb. First-time users will be welcomed with a free 30-day trial, and at the end of the trial period, users will have the option to opt in and opt out. Note, a user who does not select an option will be billed a 1-year subscription to ChemWeb. App walkthrough continued. Upon successful login, users will be able to navigate two sections of the app. The first section is Home, where you will have itemized tabs like ideas for you, popular on ChemWeb, for you, saved, acidic chemicals, alkaline chemicals, and so forth. App walkthrough continued. The second section will have other tabs and features for the user to access, such as following, where persons will have the option to post things such as their experiences or experiments with certain chemicals on the account you've already created while logging in. Search engine, which consists of chemical composition, where you type in the formula and in return gives you the apparatus or what it's made of, can create. Reveals the chemical formula of for compounds. Example, sodium bicarbonate, which gives you NaHCO2, which is the chemical formula for that. The budget for the app is 15,000 EC dollars. Resources for the app. To make this app, the following will be needed. We'll need a programmer, a designer, server, human resources such as student partners, teachers, myself, financial funding, which is sponsorship, subscriptions, and the users. Partners, Ministry of Education or educational institutions. Where's the app will make money? The app is an internet-based and offers various options for revenue. One of the best ways will be to sell advertisement space for small essential businesses and app payments through credit card and debit cards and PaySwift. Impact of app on business. This app will help the Ministry of Education by helping the students of the future study and learn more about chemistry for college and university and help further their minds in chemistry, which might help junior scientists like Faith, myself. Impact of app on users. The app is to help people find out what chemicals are in what formulas and what certain or specific chemicals can make up what formula and can help with school, work, or if you're just really inquisitive and so on. For those doing chemistry in school, this app will really make learning the subject more fun, interesting, and real. This app will also help to assist students in pursuing higher learning with their schoolwork to build their and their country's future. Pros and cons of the app. Pros: easily accessible with the user not required to do much research on all the chemicals and all the formulas because of ChemWeb. Students will be able to get much needed information on various formulas, the chemicals, and how they interact. Cons: you need data or Wi-Fi for this app to be fully functional. Persons may not have a credit card or other online payment means. To address this, scratch cards will be developed so that such persons have a means of paying online. Future development of the app. In the future, our app might have a headquarters of our own, or establish our own established pace of business where we will manage all the data and information that relates to ChemWeb. Also, a small dedicated staff to improve the functionality of the app and perhaps branch off to other subject areas. Thank you. Any questions will be answered now.
Hi, ladies, thank you. Given the limited support that banks in St. Vincent have for electronic payments, have you considered how your customers will be paying for your app, paying their subscriptions?
So they will be able to pay through debit cards, credit cards, and online payments such as PaySwift and PayPal. But if you don't have any of that, we will be developing scratch cards and we'll sell them and you'll buy them and then you scratch them and you'll use the app instead of having to pay money like that.
Okay. Well, just a suggestion. PaySwift, you could just go and top up. You don't really need a scratch card for that. So you guys should. This is just a suggestion. You don't have to do the scratch card thing. You could just go to whatever agent, PaySwift agent, give them the money, and they will top up your account. So you then could make payments online. That's just a suggestion. Question. I don't know much about chemistry, but wouldn't it be simple, let's say for me, if I need information, just to go to Google and search it instead of using the app and paying?
That's the thing. ChemWeb gives you all the information without you having to do much of the research, and it gives you a straightforward answer so you don't have to be hopping into different sites on Google to look for different things.
All right, correct. Thanks.
Good afternoon, ladies. So my question to you is this. It's just a point of clarification. Who exactly are you intending to continue and maintain the app yourself, or would you be giving the app to the ministry? How does it work?
We'll continue to maintain it ourselves after a certain period in time, and then if we get any interesting offers, we will then further give it to that person or business.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Country Tech. At this moment, we'll welcome the team Aspera from the St. Vincent Grammar School. Please welcome them.
With protocols have already been established. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fidel Akers and
Michael Sanyo.
And today we'll be presenting our idea to you, Vincent. The problem in our country faces is how healthcare is accessed in SVG and the inefficiency of the healthcare system in our country. It takes a lot of time to create appointment, and time which can be easily saved. As you all know, that time is money. When you are at the clinic, the inefficiency is how the appointment is processed can be clearly seen, and the time used in waiting for the appointment could have been used to do something else. Also, let's not forget how time-consuming it is to enter your information every time you want to make a new appointment. The inspiration behind Vincent. The inspiration behind this was an experience I had while trying to access healthcare in this very country. The length of time it took for me to make the appointment was unbelievable. First, the call lines were full, and when I finally got on to one of the healthcare workers, they told me that if I can come in 1 hour, 1 hour is not enough time for me to make an appointment. Also, when I went to school the next day, I told my friend about the problem, and he referred me to Vincent. He told me that Vincent is an idea to the solution, a solution to the healthcare problem in SVG. It was created to offer a range of features that attempt to reduce the inefficiency in our healthcare system. The way in which Vincent was created has you, the user, in mind. We strive to be an app that uses sustainable revenue and has the benefit of the user in mind while still being realistic and attainable. What are the aims of Vincent? The aims of Vincent are to significantly reduce the hassle of accessing healthcare in SVG. By significantly reducing the hassle, wait times will be reduced and time that could have been used for unnecessary tasks could be employed somewhere else. Also, to ensure that information relevant to healthcare is widely available in our country. With information being widely available, the public is better informed to deal with public health issues that our country is facing, and healthcare workers are more informed about patient situations and will be more prepared to deal with them. What are the features of Vincent? Some of the features that Vincent offers includes a platform for public health information. This speaks for itself. With the public being more informed about situations, the government would have less strain in dealing with situations because people would know what to do. A platform for public health basically means that anything important that is said by the public health or information that is published or that will be useful to the general public will be posted there. Also, not only does not it mean information for public health, but maybe for a clinic. Say, for example, that you're looking for a number or an email address. You can use our app to get that number from the app.
Appointment creation. This is pretty straightforward. Users can use the app to create appointments directly with clinics who are registered with the app. But not only that, but appointments can be made using the app will require the user to fill in some general information that the receptionist could use to fill out your form.
An emergency button. This is pretty simple and an option. It would be in the form of a constant notification bar or widget that will be available to users of the app. It would instantly send your phone's location to the nearest health district with an ambulance, and the ambulance would be sent to your location. But in order to prevent accidental touches, it would have some sort of confirmation feature. Maybe you could make it so that the button would have to be pressed 4 times in quick succession to be activated. Benefits of this to our country. Benefits of this to our country includes reduced wait times for healthcare. The public is also better informed, and health workers are also better informed. The public being better informed basically means that anything that the government, more specifically, the public, oh God, this retarded thing. Informing the public. Announcements made by the general health means basically that anything that the government says will be posted there. Also, the number of citizens with a confirmed disease would also be posted. Say, for example, that I am interested in the number of persons with the coronavirus. This would be available to me. Information about clinics, already explained, basically means that I can access some information about the clinic that would be useful to me. Informed health workers speak to the facts that health workers are more informed about the situation that the client is facing. They may know information that I may have told them, or we also have a feature where you can call in an emergency and the health workers would know that you are arriving. Informed workers also speak to the fact that forms that would be required to fill out can be filled out using information that the user provides in the app. Who is our target? The target for Vincicare is basically persons looking to get away from the hassle of walking appointments or persons trying to look for an alternative way to make appointments. Also, persons having trouble finding information about healthcare can also use our app. Thank you for listening. We welcome questions, any questions at this point in time.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Just one question. How does your app, or how would you secure user data, the medical data, given that they have to make appointments, I assume includes certain information about why they're coming?
Well, when you're making an appointment, right, you would basically have a form that you would have to fill out, like your name, your address, and so. And then there will be a box for like the information. So they'll give you like a brief description of your symptoms. So like, say for example, I have a high fever, I would put fever and it would send it to the healthcare professionals so they would know what is going on.
How do you guys like prioritize the level of emergency?
Well, that is a different feature, right? It basically, there's an emergency, one that calls the ambulance. There's one that sends an emergency to the nearest health district, so that I would be driving to there. I could have the person in my vehicle and I could send an emergency to let them know that I'm coming. And then there's one where you could just create the normal appointment. The level of emergency. You really have not thought about that, but it's a really good suggestion. And if we make it to the finals, I'll be sure to give it some consideration. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Aspera. At this moment, we will welcome our very last team. This is Astra from the St. Vincent Grammar School.
Because it's only one page. Yeah, this is, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna pause.
Judges, audience, media, fellow participants, good day. Pretayo, we're at the door. Our group name, Astra, is from Latin origin, meaning stars. We are from the St. Vincent Grammar School, and my name is Stanislaus Gomes, and to my right and left are Isaac Zapita and Luke Wilson. Now, what's currently wrong? Imagine you're extremely busy, yet you have to do things like go out for groceries or pick up items. However, you can't spare enough time to get all these things done in a timely manner. Or yet again, imagine having a broken foot and having no close friends or relatives to pick up your groceries. Even though you are physically disabled, you still have to get these same things done. Or imagine you live far down the Leeward side. You would need to travel from far out there to come to town just to buy items like medications, for example. These are real problems that are happening in St. Vincent. Here's the solution. Freight.io, which would be a delivery service application that allows persons to send a courier to pick up and deliver an item, package, or even food to you or to someone else. This application will be the solution to all those problems, as it would be very accessible and hassle-free, thus increasing convenience. Who is Freight.io for? Firstly, it will target persons who are extremely busy and have little to no spare time to purchase and collect their own items. It will also target persons unable to purchase things for themselves, such as persons that have a serious injury. And lastly, it will be made for the general population of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as well as persons looking to make an extra income. How will it work though? First, a person will post their request, like to pick up their groceries, as well as a point of purchase. Then, the couriers that are closest to the pickup location will receive the notification and choose to accept it. If they accept it, then an online payment can be made. There will be a placement of a temporary hold on the amount charged. The amount charged will be a rate based on how far the delivery was. The delivery is then completed, and if you have chosen to pay physically, you then do so.
About Freight.io. It will accept either payments online via credit cards, PaySwift, or physical payments. It will also have in-map tracking, meaning that you will be able to track your package. Additionally, it will have in-app contact, meaning that users will be able to message and call the couriers directly from the app. Now, we won't let the average Joe do deliveries. Background checks will be done on couriers in terms of criminal and auto accident history to ensure the safety of packages and customers. We interviewed various persons in SVG. We first asked them if they were ever in a situation where they were so busy that there was inadequate time to pick up various items. They all replied yes. Then we asked if they would use an app like this in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 70% yes said yes, while the others said that they would have someone else do it for them. We also asked if an app like this would make it easier for persons to receive the items, and they all said yes. Judges, it is clear that Freight.io will benefit persons by making our lives easier. What will we need? We have researched the cost of items required to make this app. Will we need persons to manage our servers? We'll also need various equipment like computers to manage the application. We would then need a server to store all necessary information. Let's now look at the total cost of the app. The person to manage servers would approximately be 500 US. The mentioned equipment would cost about 1,500 US, which would bring the total cost to make the application to approximately 2,000 US, or about 5,000 EC. Pertaining sectors, Freight.io will apply to most businesses in major towns within SVG, seeing as we are making it easier and more accessible for persons to get their items from them. Businesses in SVG that don't already have a delivery system would also benefit, as things would be more accessible, such as clothing stores and printing resources.
According to our research, Freight.io will be a very practical application. Freight.io will be a very reliable and efficient delivery app. It will make the lives of its users a lot less complicated. And lastly, this application can be relatively easy to implement in SVG because we are moving towards a more technological future. The pros and cons of Freight.io. Pros. This app will have many advantages, like allowing persons to easily receive the much needed items that they just couldn't pick up. It will also create more employment opportunities in SVG as couriers will be necessary. And lastly, it will benefit local businesses since it will encourage persons to buy more, as they won't have to collect it themselves. Freight.io's main cons are that it will need internet access for the utilization of its full capabilities, and the app's delivery service to some areas in SVG may be unreliable due to the distance necessary for delivery and the possible conditions encountered, such as bad roads. Our intended results. We will aim to make it easier for Vincentians to get what they want without hassle, to make the overall lives of Vincentians easier, and to be the all-round best delivery application in SVG. Thank you.
Good afternoon again, gentlemen. If I got it right, I download the app. I want certain items at the supermarket or something. Through the app, I'll be able to choose those items, and someone connected to Freight.io will then deliver those items to me.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. If I choose payment outside of the app, as in not online, not electronic, and I request certain items, but change my mind how do you prevent loss to yourselves? Because if I change my mind, when you show up to my door, I don't want to pay you. How do you prevent that from happening?
All right. In the app, it would have terms and conditions in which one of them would be that you'll have to pay for compensation. For example, if I live in Barley and I order from a shop in Fancy and I made them drive all the way around, I'm like, oh, never mind, you can go back now. That would be outrageous. So obviously there will be a fee that they will have to compensate for, and that would be in the terms and conditions when they read it, based on the distance traveled.
Question, cost. Because it's a delivery, the merchants would now have to alter the price. For example, in the supermarket, if I'm going in to buy an item, it might cost X. But now because it's a delivery, it now will be cost, let's say, Y, right? Who's going to ensure that this happens? Because, like, for example, would you guys take on the additional cost, or would me, the buyer? I don't know.
Well, I think you may have misunderstood the thing a bit because what we intend to have is customers and couriers using the app, right? So a courier would be a person who is third party, right, who would choose to make their service available to deliver goods to someone else. So that person will be paid a rate based on the distance to travel, right? And the actual price of the item they're delivering won't change. The customer can choose to tip extra if they wish, depending on the service and the ratings.
Okay, understood.
And also, within the rate charge will be included, like gas money, for example. So all that would be included in the price.
Okay.
It will be calculated by the
Another-
application.
Sorry, another question, accountability. How do you ensure that, let's say, I'm buying something that it's not mishandled, or let's say the courier gets into an accident and I can't get whatever. You understand?
Right. So the couriers will be told when they sign up that they'll have to compensate based on any damages done by them. The background checks will try to mitigate like intentional damage by the couriers and like stolen goods and stuff. And if you have a complaint and we find it's very serious, it might have been because we slipped up on the records checking part, you can send us a picture and we can possibly refund you.
All right, good afternoon, gentlemen. My question is this. Do you already have an app, My Grocery Boy, and Black that do delivery? Also, the possibility of Beam or Route adding deliveries to their service. Possible. What is the major point of your app in comparison to those 4 that are listed that already exist? What makes you unique?
Yeah, so we'll be better and have advantages over them because one will consider that they are small businesses, and obviously we'll, as a Vincentian app, we'll try to make the process fairer. We have fairer prices because those apps are American based. Their policies might be different from our local policies. Also, the Vincentian public will most likely support a Vincentian made app.
All 4 of those are local apps, by the way.
All 4?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So we were not aware of those applications already. Those are applications, by the way, right?
Minus Slack.
Huh?
Minus Slack. That could just be, it's just a regular delivery service. I don't think they have an application.
Well, our advantage would be that we are an application. It makes it more accessible for persons to get the deliveries and so forth.
Also, our app allows couriers, independent persons, third parties, other than employees of, say, like LAC, to earn their own money and extra cash on the side.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much to our last team, Astra of the St. Vincent Grammar School. At this moment, the top 7 teams with the highest scores that will be advancing to the final round for the idea category will be announced in a moment. Therefore, I'm asking everyone to please wait a few minutes as these results are being prepared. So, in the meantime, to kill some of the time, I'll be doing a little intro about myself and maybe a little encouragement to the students around. So, as I mentioned before, my name is Kalisa Peters and I am an intern here at the NTRC, right? I previously entered this competition in the open category last year. My team was KNR and my app basically catered to students and young persons, adults who are interested in becoming software developers and building themselves within the technological field. So my experience in the competition, I was slightly intimidated. As you could see, I'm somebody of a very small stature. So all the big adults entering in the open category. So it was a little intimidating, but it was pleasant to see that there were other persons who shared my interests and were as passionate about these topics as I was. So it was a great experience, and that is how I ended up in this job. It gave me the push, the little motivation to want to enter this field of work. Okay, so that was my experience, and I hope that everyone else here, all the youths, could share this experience with me and use this opportunity for the best, whether you win or lose. At this time, I would like to ask one of the judges to give a little encouragement. Share.
Thank you. Right, I was nominated on behalf of the judges to give this bit of encouragement. But if there's one thing I can say is that I wish, as a youth, at your age, I wish we had this kind of competition, because it's something that I think I myself would have loved to be a part of. Something that I think fosters a lot of creativity and gives you guys an opportunity to really show off your skills and show your interest, show what you want to see take place in St. Vincent. And it's in an area that's of interest to you. Obviously, technology and, everything that's happening now. We, the older persons in the room, might not have had that kind of exposure. I think, I'm not that too old. I don't think either of us we're really too old. But it's still something that I think we wish we had. And the fact that you do have this opportunity and you do have this kind of competition taking place yearly, I really would want to encourage you to, to take part in it and continue to put your best feet forward and continue to develop in this area, continue to develop your interests, and don't shy away from these kinds of competitions. And yeah, good luck to everyone.
Would any other judge want to share anything? No? Okay, well, we would be ready in 2 minutes, so sit tight and please wait. Okay. So at this time, I will use it to thank our sponsors, and they are for Imprint, ISOC SVG, ECGC, One News SVG, The News newspaper, SVGBC, ANN News, Eyewitness News, Searchlight, Radio Grenadines, Thirsty Water, Extreme FM, Hot 97.1, King Computer Corporation, Boom FM, Kobayashi Productions, NIS, Flow, and Digicel. I sent out a heartfelt thank you to all of them for their support, not only in our company, but in the future of our youths here. Seems as though we are still waiting, so everyone for your patience. The results that you have waited for are now here. So please listen attentively. Thank you. Oh, I'm calling these out in no specific order. So the 7 teams that will be moving on to the final round in the idea category are the rivals from the St. Vincent Girls High School. Please applaud them. The GSS Gladiators from the Georgetown Secondary School. Country Tech, St. Vincent Girls High School. UISSGO from the Union Island Secondary School. UISS on point 2.1 from the Union Island Secondary School. Psy Girls from the St. Joseph's Convent, Kingstown, sorry. And Project Tech from the St. Vincent Girls High School. These are all of the names of the teams that have advanced into the final round for the idea category. At this time, I will invite Mr. Rolano Nanton to give us our vote of thanks.
A pleasant good afternoon to everyone. I hope you have enjoyed this preliminary round of the iCode784 competition. On behalf of the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, I would like to extend our gratitude to all those who aided in making this event a great success. To start, I would like to thank God for allowing us to be here today. To the participants, thank you all for taking part in this year's competition. Thank you, mentors, as well, because without you, there would be no competition. I also wish to express our gratitude to the judges for taking the time out of your schedules and doing a wonderful job of awarding the participants for their efforts. Furthermore, we are very grateful for our sponsors and auditors whose support was a necessity in making the competition run smoothly, as well as the caterers for their services. I would like to acknowledge the time and effort the NTRC staff put into organizing and executing this event, and also thank our social media audience and in-house audience, as well as well-wishers for tuning in and supporting us. Thank you all for being with us today, and congratulations to those advancing to the final round.